for 10 consecutive sessions. Pete McGuire, the Chief Market Strategist and Economist at MXT Global, joining me. Pete, welcome to the show. What was that telling you, and why did we snap the losses?
Well, good morning, Carson. You know, when you see a market, and traditionally, you know, copper down from 1995, an 18-year, 9 consecutive losing days, and then you see it bounce. We saw the US dollar has certainly come under some big pressure in the last 24 hours, and that's evident in our FX as what's happened there. But the copper market just rebounded. I'm sure that you're going to see a continuing uptick for a couple of sessions, not unusual, and markets don't traditionally keep on falling. So, something like copper, it's been a rebound, I think was just oversold. Simple as that. Was a lot of it also the Lunar New Year kind of all quiet on the Eastern Front? Yeah, absolutely, and that plays into, of course, what we saw as far as iron ore prices down the best part of 8.5% in January, though the shipments from Port Hedland to Tianjin are up 27% year on year, so huge increases as far as from a demand picture out of China. And
are you that bullish?
I'm realising that $122 for a tonne of iron ore is probably good buying, very good buying.
Although that's come back quite markedly from what, a 139 level?
Yeah, down 9% in the best part of a month.
Yeah.
So it's had a good correction, and probably it's a great time to buy. And I think with traditionally this time of year it's no market to trade on, and that'll continue. Next week I think you'll see a little bit of buying action. You might see 118, 119, but I think there's plenty of upside left.
Interesting that, speaking of upside, you're calling an end, or at least a running out of steam from the gold run we've been on briefly of late. It's been a brief kind of a swing back, hasn't it? The precious metal market, gold, along with palladium, and when you look at the precious metals, silver's been relatively flat. Palladium's down about 9 or 10 sessions consecutive. Gold's still at that 1250 mark. It can't find itself. It had a nice rally in the last couple of weeks, but I think it's going to just, even Stevens. I think it'll, 1240, 1250 range for the short to medium term. What's it trading based on? Fundamentals or more kind of just an odd blip in the currency? I think it's more currency based, and I think it's just a realisation where Yellen sits in all of this. What's happening with tapering? Where is the inflation numbers going? It was interesting what reads into our market as far as inflation on our dollar, and that could be interesting as you see any currency that bounces as heavily as it did. Ours 2 cents in really 18 hours. Dramatic move. Back on Chinese New Year, do we have to factor in some of this run-up of late to be precisely that? It's all about the gift giving. Well, of course. I mean, and that's very much a part of that whole culture. You're talking the best part of a couple of billion people globally, and of course, Eastern Road ain't seen nothing. Yeah, well, exactly right. Yeah. And all of the gold producers, as far as the jewellery consumption, and then you deal into you've got festive seasons coming into India and so on. So this time of year isn't unusual to see that groundswell picking up as far as jewellery and consumption numbers. Do you think, though, the inflation conundrum for the Indians themselves could actually act as something of a handbrake on their buying power at the moment? Everything else is getting so much more expensive. Well, of course. I mean, their currency has been hit tremendously. I don't rule India out, but it's had some unheralded growth over the last decade, and everything just takes sometimes you've just got to sit back and let the market catch you. And we saw, large inflation numbers. We've seen all of those, rates. You name it, as India has just gone through quite a turbulent time. Well, it's been a turbulent time for the A-dollar and for rates and for expectations. Last 24 hours. Yeah. Do you think the RBA had it in mind that we would see that pop in the local unit to quite the extent? Yeah, well, the shorts have been smashed. I was talking to our traders this morning. We were in there at 7:30, and you just think of what goes on as far as everyone was short. Everyone was looking at, we're going to see 86 bounce on here, and you're up 2 cents. I think you'll see resistance at 89.50, 89.60, you might see 90 cents. But the real issue is, if the inflation is starting and things are on the uptick, then that's certainly going to add a little bit more horsepower, and let's just wait and see what happens. But it's a great trade at the moment. There's plenty of movement in the currency markets. I'm still reeling from that conservative start for you at 7:30. You do the spin class at 4. Oh, yeah. I would have thought 5 you'd have been open. Well, that's right. Well, I'm in there. We get in there pretty early and have some toast and look at the markets and watch you guys and sharp yourself up for the rest of the day. Well, exactly. And, all the markets are very, very active at the moment, and there are plenty of opportunities.
All right, and you're grabbing them left, right and centre. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, Carson.
Chief Market Strategist, MXT Global there, Pete McGuire, will